So today we're going to talk to you about how to get a green card through marriage to come to the United States, to the USA.
And also how to get dual citizenship in Uganda and the process of getting a visa to come to Uganda.
Okay, so
Hi guys, this is Sarah and this is my husband.
I'm Anthony. Welcome back to our channel, Living Bicontinental, because we live what?
Bicontinental.
As you know, my wife Sarah is from the Pearl of Africa, Uganda.
And my husband is from the United States of America.
Yes, from St. Louis, Missouri, as a matter of fact. So, today we're going to talk to you about something that's very important. Our process, as you know, we live both in Uganda and we live in the United States. So, in order for my wife to come to the United States, we had to do what?
To go through a visa process, apply for a visa. So we're going to talk about the process that we went through to get a visa for me to come to the US. In fact, to get a green card, because I came on a green card.
Yes, which is a spousal visa that she had got. Now, just to make it clear, we're not legal professionals, so we're not giving you any type of legal advice or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
There are over 185 different types of visa that you can apply for to come to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
There's mainly two categories. Category one is the non-immigrant visa.
Mm-hmm.
That's if you want to come visit the U.S.
Visiting visa.
Tourist, visiting visa, also known as tourist visa. Also, if you're coming as a student to study,
Mm-hmm.
or if you're coming to visit a family or coming to work.
There is also a K1 visa.
K1 visa is the fiance visa.
Uh-huh.
So that falls under category 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it falls under category 2 because that's a non-immigrant. I mean, that's an immigrant visa, meaning that you are immigrating to the United States. So that's also is the spousal visa. So the spousal visa is what we had to apply for my wife to come to the United States. And believe me, it was a process. You want to tell them about it?
Of course, it was a process. Like, it took us how many years? Was it 2 years?
No, it took us 1 year.
Oh, 1 year, sorry.
And that was, now granted, it usually won't take a year, but it took us a year because there was a few delays. There was a couple problems that we ran into. Then those problems was on our end, not on the USCIS end. You filed the petition with USCIS. Me being a U.S. citizenship, it is me to file the petition for my wife to come visit the U.S. Matter of fact, I have to file what's called an I-551 in order for my wife to come to the U.S. So with me filing that particular petition, it's a lengthy process. I think it's like $535 in order to file for the I-551 petition. And there are certain things that the U.S. government wants to see in order for you to file. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into all of that, but let's kind of talk about some of the things that we did before getting the proper visa. Remember, at first we tried to apply for
a visiting visa.
The visitor's visa, yes.
Tourist visa. Jeez. We applied for the first time at the beginning for a tourist visa, and when I reached the embassy, I reached there very early because you have to be there before 7.
Before 7 a.m.
Yeah, you have to be there before 7 a.m. So I was there early,
and believe me, my wife is a black woman, an African woman, so we are never on time. None of us around the world. But for this visa,
I was on time. Trust me. And when I reached there, it was time for me to interview. To go for an interview, I was nervous. When I reached the interview, the only question they asked me is, why did your husband apply for you a visiting visa instead of a spouse visa? And I didn't know how to answer that question.
Right.
I had no idea how to answer that question. I was like, because I just want to go see his family, then come back. Then they say that, I'm sorry, ma'am, but you have been denied.
Yes, and the reason why we learned later, because we applied for the visitor's visa originally because Sarah did not want to come to the U.S. She didn't want to come live in the U.S. or anything of that nature. She only wanted to come to visit Junior and my mom and family members, and that's it, and then go back. So our original plans was for her to come here for about 3 months just to visit and then go back to Uganda, and that would be it. However, when we applied for the visitor visa the first time, she was denied, and
They
was
told
hurt.
us to. I was hurt. I was devastated because, first of all, we spent money. I hate spending money, so we spent money. Apart from that, I was denied. I was ready to come see my husband because it was like 4 months.
About 4 months, I guess.
Before, without seeing you.
Right.
So I was devastated. I
So-
shedded a little bit of tears, but
So we thought that she got denied because we didn't that you didn't prepare for the interview properly. We thought that she got denied because she didn't show all of the paperwork showing that we own land in Uganda, that we own our bank accounts and things like that
To
for
show-
the U.S.
they say like we thought that I didn't show proof that I will be back to Uganda.
Right, and showed that we had a house in Uganda, that we had residence. In our you had your our marriage certificate.
Yeah, I had it.
So
But they are looking for a reason, like if you are to go visit something that will make you come back to the country. Yeah.
Right. So we thought that was the reason why she got denied for the visitor's visa, but it wasn't. So we set up for a second interview for a visitor visa. So we had to pay for the process all over again.
Again,
And guess what?
denied. Again, for the second time.
And devastated again for the second time.
But this time I didn't cry.
I think you did.
I didn't.
I think you did.
Trust me, I was strong.
Okay, so she was strong the second time. So from there we did more research and we found out that we had to apply for a spousal visa since we are married. So that broke down the dreams of her not coming to live in the U.S. or getting a green card, and we had to face the reality that that was the only way.
And I was ready to give up. I wanted to just give up and just let it go. I was like, you know what? You just come to Uganda, go back, I'm done.
But we got to that point where Junior was preparing for college, and we needed to be here to be able to see him off to college. So we had no choice but to apply for the spousal visa at that particular time. So we filled out the paperwork. As I mentioned, I'm the one that have to petition because I'm the U.S. citizen. So we filled out the paperwork, and then there's a lot of supporting documents that you have to provide. We have to provide the marriage certificate, financial documents showing that I'm able to take care of Sarah when she's in the U.S., show that you won't be a burden to the United States government. We had to show any property that we own together, like joint properties. We had to show where she would be staying in the United States, that we had a residence in the United States. And then we had to approve our relationship. Now that's the most important part.
That's the most important part. Like we have to approve that we are really married.
They didn't want it to be a situation where I'm just trying to hustle to get her into the United States.
We have to be really married. You have to provide some pictures before when you are just still dating. Then a lot of proof, like what else?
Our text messages between each other,
emails,
WhatsApp each other every day. We showed records of money that I would send to you. If I'm in the United States, I will always send her money for. In Uganda, you call it upkeep, and then also for bills. I'm old-fashioned. Well, in the United States, we call it old-fashioned, but in Uganda and Africa, it's just your responsibility. The man's supposed to take care of the woman. In the U.S., we go, nowadays, it's this 50-50 thing, which I never did. I've never been part of the 50-50 game. I always took care of my woman, my responsibility. So I had to show proof that I take care of my wife financially. So we sent in those documents. Then you have to send in papers to show that if you were previously married, you got to show that you have legally been divorced. And then what else? Was there any other papers or documents?
Not really. I think just certificates and birth certificate.
Yeah, birth certificates. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have to send in my birth certificate, your birth certificate.
If we have kids birth certificates.
But we got to show. Did we have to show? No, we didn't have to show the kid's birth certificate for the spousal visa. That's a whole different thing. Now you are, if you're married to someone that has children, no. If you're married to someone that have children, and you're petitioning for those children to come to the U.S., you got to fill out a separate application for each child, and then you have to provide their birth certificates.
But they asked me for the like I had anyway.
But I think you're talking about when we filed for Kari's birth abroad certificate.
Yes.
So we'll do a whole nother video on that. We have to apply for a birth abroad certificate for our 2-year-old to show that so that he could gain my U.S. citizenship, through birth. So that was a whole different process.
Yeah, about that.
Right. So I think that's what you had confused that with. So as we talked about on our first video, our last video, we had to go through many processes in order to for us to live together on 2 different continents. So this was a big part of it. One of the things. Let's talk about the preparing. This is your part. This is preparing for the visa interview.
Oh, that was a journey. For one, you have to make sure that you know everything about your husband. In Africa, we don't trip up about that. Like, we don't ask people that, oh, were you married? How many, how many times have you been married? How many kids do you have? Like, what's their name? What's their names? Were you ever arrested? This, like, we don't trip about that. We just say, hi, nice to meet you. I love you too. Like, we go into a relationship, like, we know each other deep when we're in a relationship. But here, you have to know even the toothbrush, like the color of the toothbrush. Your husband's,
Yes. So for the U.S. visa
know.
interview, it is a process. You have to really be prepared because it's not like they just want to make sure that we really do know each other.
Yeah.
So she had to prepare for that U.S. visa interview, and it was not easy.
And they don't mean harm asking those questions. The only thing they are looking for is this marriage real? Like, is it legal, or they are just looking for a way to bring me into the United States? Then we separate, stuff like that, like fraud. So that's why they ask all those questions to make sure that it's real.
Now, how did you prepare for your interview?
I had to go through YouTube videos for one.
Many YouTube videos.
I think I watched like 100 YouTube videos,
yes.
like each and every day.
Yes.
I had to watch YouTube videos. I had to prepare myself. My husband used to call me every day and start asking me questions while I was
interviewing on the spot.
Like he was like, hey, when he called me, hey Sarah, like tell me about yourself, and I'm like, what? And he said that, Sarah, I'm interviewing you now. Now you're at the U.S. Embassy. Tell me about yourself.
Yes.
And I started telling him about myself. I wasn't confident at the beginning, but time reached and I was getting more confidence. So I had to watch YouTube videos. I had to practice. Google. A lot of Google.
So now, a lot of people, they use an immigration lawyer, but we didn't do the immigration lawyer. We did the paperwork ourselves. For me, the paperwork was extremely easy. I'm very familiar with legal documents, so that was very easy for us. So USCIS, you get once you fill out the original documents, then they send you back a date. I forget the name of the date. I'll put it on in the description or on the screen. They give you this date, and then when they give you that date, then at that particular point, then you wait for an interview date. So you have to turn in some more documents. You're waiting for an interview date. Uganda, in the U.S. Embassy in Uganda, they do not perform spousal visa interviews, so Sarah had to fly to Nairobi, Kenya.
I had to go to fly to Nairobi, then I had to do also medical in Nairobi. So the first day you go for medical, was it that very day? No, it was like on Friday I went for medical, then on Monday I went for the interview. So medical, you have to go for X-ray, test, blood test, different types of things. Then after that, they send your results direct to the U.S. Embassy. So you don't get the result. Like they give you a disc, so that you can see your results, but they send them direct.
Now let me interrupt. I love my wife. She's very sweet. She is. However, on the day that she went for her interview, she was so mean to me. She wanted to just devastate my world. I think it was about 5 in the morning in the U.S. when she went for her interview. Or maybe it was 3 in the morning. What time you went for your interview in Kenya?
I went, was it at 6?
If it was
I
at 6,
reached there at 6.
you reached at 6 a.m.
At
And you
6
came out about what time? About 9 o'clock a.m.?
No, at 8.
So she came out about 8 a.m. So U.S. time, that was maybe about midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. She called me and devastated me.
Anyway,
No, tell them what happened. Tell them what you did.
I just called him and told him, hello, baby, I'm feeling so bad. I was acting like I was crying, and he started saying, it's okay. It's okay, we'll figure out a way for you to get another visa. We'll apply again. I was like, I'm so hurt. I'm so broken hearted. Like, I didn't get it. Why? And he was like, it's okay, Sarah, calm down. I wish I was there. Calm down. I was like, why is this happening to me? Then he had to calm me down. Then I was like, I got it.
I'm the one that usually do the pranks. I'm the one that usually get her with every single thing. Every single thing. But this time I got to give her credit. She actually got me. I was so angry. I didn't even want to stay on the phone with her. I didn't want to celebrate the fact she got her visa. But our deal was, the day she get her visa, the next day she get her airplane ticket. So that was her. But that was a devastation to her mom, because her mom wanted her to stay for at least another week,
2 weeks.
for 2 more weeks, and I said no. I mean, I love my mother-in-law, but I needed my wife and our son here immediately.
But he gave in later. He had to give in.
I gave what?
You gave it like.
How long did that? You waited?
I went for the interview. Was it in December, November? I think it was December.
It was December.
Yeah, it was December. Then I came here in January.
Because you had to wait for the visa to come. You had to wait for your passport to come back. That's no.
I'm saying by the time I left Kenya,
Right.
I had my visa already in the passport. Yeah.
Why did we wait?
We waited for Carrie's.
Oh, we had to wait for Kari's birth abroad certificate, his U.S. passport.
Yeah.
So that's why. Okay, so I said the day that you get his passport, we go buy the ticket that day. You gonna come the next day. So that's what that was. So it wasn't for your passport, your visa. So that's how you obtain a U.S. visa when you're married. You have to be honest. You have to keep all your records. You have to prove that you and that person is together, that you love each other. Show your marriage certificate, many pictures. Yes.
Proof. Know a lot about your spouse.
Yes.
Know more than you want to know. Like you can ask him today, what did you eat? What do you like?
What's your favorite food?
And don't forget, ask him about his family.
Yes.
Like they always ask about the family members.
Yes.
Ask him about, if we was married, ask him about his ex.
Yes.
The kids, everything.
Yes.
Ask everything. A lot of proof. Proof will give. And don't ask and just have it in your head. Just ask and have proof, paper, like that they can look at and be like, yeah, this is proof.
Now, let's talk about Uganda. How to obtain dual citizenship or residence if you are a foreigner and you're moving to Uganda, you're an African American, you want to repatriate. There's many different type of visas or citizenships that's offered.
Before we talk that part, the last thing I wanted to tell
Okay,
you
okay.
is be at the embassy early.
Mhm.
That day, don't be African. Yeah, trust me. Do
Nor-
not be
Nor African American,
African.
because we
Not
be
African
late.
American, not African. No.
No
Be
Afro
there
Caribbean,
in
no
fact-
type of Afro.
In fact, if your interview is at 7, be there at 6.
No, be there at 5. That way you know you won't be late.
The
So-
first time I reached late, early in a place. Anyway,
So now, in order, if you are an African American and you're looking to go to Uganda in particular, or different African countries, then you need to understand the process for you to get either dual citizenship or residence or a work visa, because there's many different categories of visa when you go to Africa. So don't think that I'm African American. I do understand our story. I wrote books on it. So don't think that just as soon as I hit the ground, I'm going to be granted citizenship. That's not how it works.
that's not how it was.
Period. Now, Sierra Leone, because I traced my DNA to Sierra Leone from the Timni tribe, they do offer citizenship if you trace your DNA, but that's a whole nother story. As far as Uganda is concerned, there's processes that you have to go through. I'm eligible for dual citizenship through marriage because I'm married to a Ugandan citizen. So therefore, I'm able to apply for both residence and citizenship.
After 3 years of marriage.
3 years of marriage is for for residence. Is it 3 years of marriage as well? So for residence, you marry for 3 years, then I automatically get residency, and then it's another 2 years in order to get citizenship, right?
5 total.
So yeah, so 3 years I can get residence, which we're past that, and then after 5 years, then I get citizenship. So this May makes 5 years for us in marriage, so I'll be eligible for dual citizenship.
So get out of there with it.
You're right. Yeah, we'll get it before we leave, because we'll be in Uganda for 6 months. We'll be leaving in February, and we'll stay there for 6 months. Then we'll come back to the U.S. for 6 months, back to Uganda for 6 months, U.S. That's how it goes. So in Uganda, when you're filing for citizenship, I have to file a form called CR due to marriage. That's the form I file in Uganda. And there's a fee that you pay for that particular form. Now, what I need to show in Uganda, in order for me to get citizenship in Uganda, once again, is my marriage certificate. I need to show if we own any type of property. You have to show proof of ownership. I have to give a police report, Interpol report, to Uganda. What else I have to show? Medical. I got to do medical records, medical report. And the C is the LC1. I have to get a letter from the LC1, and that is
Where you live.
what's the LC1? Many people in the U.S. don't know what that is.
Oh, it's like how can I explain? Like, for example, you have like, for example, I don't know how to explain this. Like, it's the leaders. It's kind of a leader who local people go to, like local council. LC means
Right.
local council. So if you get a problem or you need anything or something like that, those are the first people you go to.
Right.
Like they are the leader of the village.
Right.
Like, for example, the village Nansana, there is LC. So there's LC1, LC2, and more. So anything before going maybe to the police or other things, you start with the LC.
Yes. So now in the U.S., that's like your local alderman.
Yeah.
It's like a city council member or even a committee member. So that's what the LC is for us in the United States. So I'm going to enjoy the process. Matter of fact, we will video record and film the process so we can bring that to you live so you can understand how that process goes. So we'll be doing that here in a few months once we arrive back to Uganda. So you guys will have that to look forward to. So now, we appreciate you guys today. Appreciate you joining us again. We're very proud. Our first video, we're very proud that people have been watching it,
Yeah.
commenting,
Yeah.
even sharing it. So we're going to ask you to do what on this one?
Like,
Share, and subscribe.
Please, please, please subscribe, please.
And hit the
Subscribe.
notification bell. That way you will know when we come out with new content. Now, our content is going to be like this. You know, it's going to be very informative, mixed with some, I guess, entertainment. Her personality. She's the personality of the family. So we're going to bring you videos that's going to inform you of things, how to do things in both Africa and in America. Also things, as it relates to family raising, our family business, things of that nature. So travel, yeah, a lot of travel, food. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Leave comments